the Spartan touch code. There are gestures that speak louder than words. Small details, almost invisible, that a woman notices even before you open your mouth. And among these gestures, there is one. Most men have never learned this. They grew up believing that intensity, strength, physical demonstration was enough. But over time, especially after 50, we know that's not what counts. What really differentiates a man is his presence, his calm, his ability to transmit security and firmness, even in silence. And that's precisely where strategic kisses come in. They are not a cheap trick, but a code of maturity, respect, and silent leadership. The modern world is full of noise. Social media, messages, empty promises, men running after attention, trying to prove all the time that they are interesting. But deep down, what really attracts a mature woman is the opposite. It's the man who doesn't need to show off because he transmits confidence in the details. A firm kiss in the right place is worth more than 1,000 declarations. It engraves a memory on her body, a memory that remains even after the words have been forgotten. In this video, I'm going to show you the 5 places that, when kissed with calm and intention, drive any woman crazy for you. But don't expect magic formulas. What you will learn here is presence, rhythm, and control. It's a code that separates the common man from the one who will be remembered even in silence. And before we continue, I want to ask you one simple thing. Write in the comments your age and the city or country where you are watching from. I want to get to know better who is here with me. I want to know with whom I am sharing this knowledge. And if this type of content makes sense to you, subscribe to the channel now. It's easy, fast, and above all, it will ensure that you don't miss the next lessons that can change the way you conduct your intimate life. Here we talk about presence, respect, maturity. It's not content for anxious boys, but for men who want to become memorable. So take a deep breath. Open your mind. Because what you are going to learn now is not just where to kiss a woman, but how to become the type of man she never forgets. Before the kiss, presence, respect, and consent. Many believe that the power of a kiss is only in the moment it happens, but the real secret comes before. The energy you carry when approaching, the silence that precedes the gesture, the firmness with which you look into her eyes. All of this prepares the ground so that kiss is not just physical, but an emotional mark. A mature woman feels the difference between a man who acts with anxiety and another who knows how to wait. The anxious one shortens the steps, invades the space without noticing, seeks quick approval. The secure man observes, reads the signs, respects the rhythm. He understands that presence is not just being there, but being whole, without haste, without a mask, without needing to prove anything. And when we talk about kissing, respect and consent are as important as technique. It's not about advancing in any way, but about perceiving if she is receptive, if her body leans in, if her gaze remains. It's the reading of the environment that separates a remarkable gesture from an invasive one. For this, calm is needed. Take a deep breath, feel the environment, pay attention to her breathing, the tone of her voice, the small movements. Often the invitation is there, disguised in a smile, in a look that lasts a little longer, in a subtle approach. Whoever is in a hurry doesn't see this. Whoever knows how to wait sees everything. And it is exactly this attentive look that transforms a simple kiss into something unforgettable. Because she won't just remember your lips. She will remember the way you conducted the moment, the respect, the firmness, the calm. She will remember that she didn't need to ask you for anything because you noticed everything on your own. And that is rare, very rare. In a world where so many men want immediate results, being the man who knows how to wait, who knows how to feel, who knows how to enter at the right time, is a gigantic difference. It's like the pause before the music, the silence that prepares the impact of the next note. Always remember, presence is more important than words. A present man doesn't need to justify himself. He doesn't need to promise. The woman feels it. And this feeling is what engraves you in her memory. Now, before we move on to the specific points of the body where the kiss becomes a silent weapon of attraction, I want to ask you a question. Do you usually notice the subtle signs before approaching? Have you noticed the difference between a look that invites and a look that closes the doors? Answer in the comments, because this detail can be the dividing line between being forgotten or being remembered. In the next block, we will talk about the first point, the inner wrist, a place almost ignored but which, when touched with respect and intention, ignites something that no hurried kiss on the mouth could ever achieve. Point 1. The inner wrist, calm command and expectation. Few men realize the strength that exists in the detail. The inner wrist, for example, is an almost forgotten region, but full of nerve endings, delicate, sensitive to heat and touch. When you kiss this point, you are not just touching your lips to a piece of skin. You are saying, without words, I see where others don't see. I notice what others ignore. A mature woman understands this immediately. She is no longer impressed with obvious gestures, with haste, with automatic movements. What moves her is the unexpected. It's the man who, instead of rushing to the hurried kiss on the mouth, holds her hand firmly and calmly, approaches slowly, and lets his breath warm the air before the touch. This moment of waiting already creates expectation, and expectation is half the desire. The kiss on the wrist has another advantage. It can happen outside the intimate context, in simple places, in the middle of a conversation, or even in public, with discretion. Precisely because of this, it engraves a unique sensation in her memory. It's as if you had marked territory without needing to raise your voice. When, later, she is alone, perhaps lying in bed, she will remember this brief gesture, but full of intention, and she will think of you. It is important to understand that it is not about strength, nor about duration. The kiss on the wrist is quick, firm, and contained. The less prolonged, the more effective. It is the tension created by the mixture of control and surrender that awakens interest. The contrast between the firmness of your hand holding hers and the delicacy of your lips touching the thin skin communicates exactly what differentiates a mature man. Presence. The ancient Spartans had a simple principle. The warrior only advanced when he felt the ground firm under his feet. In the same way, the man who kisses the wrist shows that he does not act on impulse, but at the right time. He doesn't rush. He doesn't beg. He leads. And this silent conduction creates impact because it shows that you have control over yourself before trying to have control over her. The gesture may seem small, but the effect is profound. It is in it that you plant a powerful doubt in her mind. Why did this kiss mark me so much? What does this man have that is different? And when a woman starts asking herself these questions, you are no longer common to her. Point 2. Nape of the neck. Silent dominance without haste. If the wrist surprises with its delicacy, the nape of the neck surprises with its vulnerability. It is a point of the female body that holds a mixture of physical and symbolic sensitivity. When you kiss there, you are not just touching the skin. You are communicating silent leadership. You are transmitting the idea that you could dominate, but you choose only to provoke. The nape of the neck is powerful because it connects the physical to the emotional. When touched unexpectedly, it awakens automatic reflexes. A shiver, the eyes that close, the breathing that changes. The body responds before the mind processes. And that is exactly what transforms the gesture into something so remarkable. The secret is in the element of surprise. Approach slowly, from behind, when she is distracted, perhaps fixing something, and stop for a second before the kiss. This pause is gold. It is in it that the suspense is born. It is the silence that precedes the musical note, the instant in which her body does not know what is coming but is already preparing. Then, a slow kiss, with light pressure, prolonged enough to be felt, but not to become invasive. This point is ancestral. In many cultures, the nape of the neck is associated with surrender and trust. And it is no coincidence. When a woman allows you to kiss her there, from behind, without defense, she is unconsciously opening space for proximity. But be careful. This requires responsibility. It's not just any kiss. It's not for any moment. It needs to be done with intention, with calm, with total presence. A common mistake is to act quickly, without purpose, as if it were just another touch. This doesn't work. The nape of the neck responds to precision, not to haste. Think of it as a fine instrument, which needs to be tuned with patience. A poorly executed gesture breaks the mood. A conscious gesture multiplies it. Here, presence counts more than audacity. You don't need to say anything. You don't need to explain what you feel. The kiss on the nape of the neck already speaks for you. It communicates that you are there whole, attentive, conducting the moment with calm. And this calm, for a mature woman, is irresistible because it shows stability. The Spartans knew that victory was not made only of strength, but also of silence and strategy. And that is how you should see the nape of the neck, not as a shortcut, but as a territory that demands respect. The right kiss, at the right time, transforms into a symbol, and symbols, unlike words, are engraved much longer. Point 3. Earlobe. The voice as a masculine weapon. There is something deeply symbolic in the earlobe. It is through there that she listens to the world, and at that instant, it is through there that she listens to you. But I'm not just talking about words. What really moves her is not the ready-made phrase, but the vibration of your breathing, the timbre of your voice, the silent firmness that accompanies the gesture. When you bring your lips closer slowly and let the heat of your breath arrive before the touch, her body already reacts. The skin shivers, the neck muscles contract, the eyes close by instinct. All this even before you say anything. And it is precisely this anticipation that creates impact. The body responds first, the mind comes later. The kiss on the earlobe is a gesture of sophistication. It communicates that you don't need to shout, you don't need to show off. Just be present, controlling the rhythm, knowing that in silence you already transmit much more than an entire speech. A mature woman perceives this immediately. She understands that there is security there, because the man who controls his own tone, who does not let himself be carried away by haste, is the same man who transmits calm in all other moments of life. The secret is to unite breathing and voice. It's not just kissing, it's using sound as part of the gesture. A short whisper, a word said in a low tone, or even silence loaded with intention. Sometimes, a simple audible exhalation communicates more than a decorated compliment. She won't remember exactly what you said, but she will remember how she felt. It is at this point that many fail. They want to impress with phrases, with theatricality, with exaggeration. But for a mature woman, this sounds artificial. What holds her is the subtlety, the detail that seems small, but that echoes inside her. Therefore, approach slowly, maintain firmness in your gaze before getting close, and only then touch your lips. In ancient Sparta, the voice was trained as a weapon as much as the sword. The shout in battle was not just noise, but part of the strategy. Today, the principle is the same, only in the intimate field. Your voice is a bridge between tension and calm. Use it not to fill the silence, but to intensify it. And remember, the kiss on the ear is not just physical. It messes with memories. It creates memories that repeat when she is alone, when remembering the vibration that ran through her body. It is a gesture that connects desire and trust, body and emotion. It is refined, it is simple, and exactly for that reason, it is so powerful. Point 4. Inner thigh, limit, rhythm, and self-control. Among all the points, this is perhaps the most delicate, and also one of the most intense. The inner thigh is border territory. It is not intimacy itself, but it is dangerously close to it. And that is precisely why the kiss on this point has so much power. It plays with the limit, creates anticipation, ignites desire without needing to cross the final line. Here, rule number 1 is, only advance when there is consolidated intimacy. This gesture cannot be forced, nor done too early. It is a symbol of trust, of mutual surrender. When you kiss this region, you communicate that you know exactly where you are, that you understand the limits, that you are in no hurry to go straight to the obvious. And this, for a mature woman, is irresistible. The magic of this kiss is in the contrast between proximity and containment. It's as if her body was screaming for continuity, but you chose to hold the rhythm. This choice shows self-control, and self-control is one of the greatest demonstrations of masculine power, because any teenager can rush, Only a centered man knows how to break, create space, prolong the moment. The kiss on the inner thigh is hot, but never desperate. It should be done with precision, in a calm rhythm, accompanied by light touches that increase the tension little by little. A slow glide of the hands, followed by a firm kiss, makes her body beg without words. And when you pause, when you don't give everything at once, that's when the expectation explodes. Many err at this point because they confuse intensity with speed. They think they need to accelerate to prove something. But the true differential is in dictating the compass. Show that you are the maestro, that you know when to accelerate and when to hold back, that you understand that desire grows precisely in the space between what has already been given and what is yet to come. In Sparta, warriors were trained not only to attack, but to contain. The discipline was in not acting on impulse, but at the right time. And the kiss on the inner thigh carries this same logic. It's not about invading, it's about conducting. It's not about strength, it's about silent dominance. This gesture not only awakens physical pleasure, it communicates leadership, transmits protection, and creates a trust that goes far beyond the instant. A woman who feels this knows that she is with a different man, someone who does not beg for desire, but who creates it with wisdom. And it is precisely this difference that makes her lose control, because she realizes that she is not facing just another one, but someone who knows how to transform the limit into power. Point 5. Center of the back, security and support. Among all the places that awaken desire, this is one of the most underestimated. The center of the back, exactly between the shoulder blades, holds something that goes beyond the skin. It carries the feeling of protection. When you kiss this region, you transmit a silent but powerful message. You can relax because I am here. This point is special because it is linked to the instinct of trust. The woman, when touched there, feels that she can let go of her shoulders, lower her guard, let herself be led. It is almost automatic, a physical reflex that translates emotional security. The body curves slightly, as if surrendering for a few moments. Not because it was forced, but because it felt supported. The gesture works best when she is not looking at you. Perhaps she is with her back turned, getting ready, distracted. It is at this moment that the surprise happens. You approach slowly, put one of your hands on her waist, gently move her hair to the side, and touch your lips to the center of her back. The kiss should be warm, but calm, brief, but full of presence. This type of gesture creates memories. She may even forget the words said that day, but she does not forget the feeling of the shiver that ran down her spine, the memory of your breath close, the heat that remained marked even without leaving a visible trace. They are memories that return on their own, in silence when she least expects it. It is in this detail that lies the difference between a common man and a remarkable man. The common one always seeks the same paths: mouth, cleavage, obvious caresses. The remarkable one goes further, finds unexpected territories, and, precisely for that reason, becomes unforgettable. He doesn't need to prove anything, because her body proves it alone, reacting before the mind can put words. In Sparta, warriors knew that trust was built in discreet gestures. It was not the speeches that strengthened the union, but the silent signs of care and presence. In the same way, the kiss on the center of the back is not a spectacle. It is a sign. It is the practical translation of a posture. Firm, protective, silently dominant. When you do this, don't rush. Don't explain. Just be present. Because the great strength of this gesture is precisely in what is not said. Spartan tactic of rhythm, pause, breathing, gaze. Now that you know the 5 main points, it's time to understand what really sustains them all. Rhythm. Without rhythm, even the most powerful gesture is lost. With rhythm, even the simplest transforms into an unforgettable experience. What does rhythm mean here? It means knowing when to advance and when to stop. Knowing how to use the pause as a tool and not as a failure. It means controlling not only your movements, but also your breathing and your gaze. The pause is one of the most important elements. When you interrupt the gesture for a few seconds, without haste, without anxiety, you create expectation. And expectation is the fuel of desire. The mistake of many men is precisely in believing that they need to fill every instant, when in reality, it is the space between actions that gives strength to what comes next. Breathing is another central point. Inhale slowly through your nose, fill your abdomen, and exhale through your mouth. Do this not only to control yourself, but to infect the environment. The woman perceives when you breathe calmly, because this calm is transmitted. It's as if you invited her body to enter the same compass. And finally, the gaze. The gaze is not just visual, it is presence. When you look with firmness, but without anxiety, you transmit security. The gaze should be direct, but not invasive. It should show that you are there whole without distraction. This detail changes everything, because often the memory is not just of the kiss, but of the way you looked at her before and after it. In practice, combine the three elements: pause, breathing, and gaze. Touch her wrist, wait, take a deep breath, change the focus to the environment, and return to her. Kiss the nape of her neck, pause for a few seconds. Maintain a firm gaze when she turns her face. Alternate the rhythm, decrease the intensity, and only then resume. This variation holds her because the body does not fall into automatic. The Spartans had a motto: whoever controls the rhythm controls the battle. Here the logic is the same. Whoever controls the rhythm controls the desire. It's not about speed, nor about quantity. It's about presence. It's about showing in every detail that you are not running after anything. You are conducting. This tactic is simple to apply, but it requires awareness. And awareness only comes with practice. Experiment. Start with small gestures. Perceive how the environment changes, how the woman reacts, how the mood transforms. Little by little, you will realize that the true power is not in doing more, but in doing it at the right time. Mistakes that break presence and how to correct them. It is useless to know the right points if you make mistakes that destroy all the energy created. Many men, especially the most anxious, sabotage their own moment by not realizing that small slips are enough to erase the mood in seconds. Let's talk about the main mistakes, and more importantly, about how to correct them. The first mistake is haste. When you act as if you have a clock running against you, you transmit insecurity. A mature woman sees the anxiety in every gesture, in the hurried kiss, in the disordered touch, in the lack of pause. Haste reveals fear of losing the opportunity, but the opportunity only exists when you demonstrate calm. Correcting this requires discipline. Breathe slowly, lengthen the time, allow silence to be part of the scene. The second mistake is vulgarity. Many believe that they need to be explicit to show desire, but they end up sounding aggressive or disrespectful. For a woman with more experience, this does not impress. On the contrary, it pushes her away. The correction here is to understand that subtlety is more powerful than excess. An unexpected kiss on the wrist or on the center of the back has much more impact than an overly direct approach. The third mistake is talking too much. There are men who try to fill every space with words, explanations, or compliments. The problem is that the excess of speech breaks the silent energy that should be sustaining the gesture. Talk less, communicate more with your body, with your gaze, with your breathing. When using words, let them be few and firm. Another common mistake is ignoring signs. A woman communicates interest or discomfort long before speaking. Her body shows it, her gaze warns, her posture transforms. Whoever does not pay attention forces situations, crosses limits, and transforms an intimate gesture into something invasive. To correct this, practice reading. Observe, ask with your eyes, be attentive to what she transmits without words. Finally, there is the mistake of insisting. When the moment is not right, when she does not show herself receptive, it is better to retreat with elegance. The man who insists becomes heavy. The man who knows how to wait demonstrates value. Wait, change the focus, resume at another time. Patience increases trust. Insistence destroys. These mistakes may seem small, but for a mature woman they are decisive. She has lived enough to know how to differentiate a man who leads from a man who stumbles. And the good news is that they all have a simple correction: presence. If you are there whole, breathing calmly, reading signs and respecting limits. There is no room for failures. Posture oath. We have reached the end of this path, and perhaps you have already realized that we have not only talked about kisses, we have talked about something bigger: posture, maturity, presence. The 5 points you have learned: wrist, nape of the neck, earlobe, inner thigh, and center of the back, are more than techniques. They are symbols. Each of them communicates who you are without needing words. A woman does not remember every phrase you say, but she never forgets how you make her feel. And a well-placed kiss at the right time is more than physical pleasure. It is a memory engraved on the body. It is the type of memory that returns on its own days later, when she least expects it. Therefore, the true code is not in memorizing movements, but in assuming a posture. Posture of a man who does not need to run, who does not need to prove anything, who does not depend on the approval of others to feel secure. The man who transmits respect in silence, who leads without invading, who creates desire not by noise, but by calm. This is the posture oath: to be firm without being rude, to be calm without being passive, to be present without being needy. It is the balance that separates the common from the unforgettable. The ancient Spartans already knew this. They trained for war, but what really differentiated them was the way they sustained silence, discipline, dignity. And it is this same essence that you can carry today in your intimate life, in your relationships, in every gesture. Not to live in the past, but to show in the present that you are a man who respects himself and therefore is respected. Before closing, I want you to leave here in the comments a word that symbolizes this posture. Write presence. This will be our code, our silent mark that you are committed to no longer living on automatic, but to conducting with firmness. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Click on the button, activate the notifications, because what comes next will deepen this path even further. Stay on the screen for a few seconds, because a video that we have chosen especially for you is already appearing there. A video that complements this content and will continue this journey of transformation. See you there, Spartan.